But today we get the news about a hire inside Major League Baseball that I think is a pretty good move. Yeah. Theo Epstein spent 9 years in Chicago and 9 years in Boston before that. Theo is now being hired by Major League Baseball as a consultant. So he's going to join the commissioner's office. And to make it as clear as we can, Theo's going to help with on-the-field matters to see if we can find ways to improve the product on the field, so that we can get more fan enjoyment inside the stadium. This is Commissioner Robert D. Manfred stating Theo is one of the most accomplished and thoughtful people in our sport. I'm grateful he's accepted our invitation to complement our ongoing efforts and provide his insights on making the best game in the world even better for the next generation of fans. And Theo now in his new role, it's an honor to assist the efforts by Major League Baseball and the Competition Committee to improve the on-field product, and I appreciate Commissioner Manfred asking me to be a part of these important conversations. Going on to say, as the game evolves, we all have an interest in ensuring the changes we see on the field make the game as entertaining and action-packed as possible for the fans, while preserving all that makes baseball so special. I look forward to working with interested parties throughout the industry to help us collectively navigate toward the very best version of our game. I think that is a consequential statement that will have reverberations for a while to come, because I think it's spot on that we saw some of the changes, Dave, that we implemented in the shortened regular season last year. And you know what? We still played a season, and we still had a World Series championship. Everyone's always afraid to make any changes. You got to worry about the fan enjoyment inside the park, and also just the changing nature of our culture.
That is the goal, right, for all of us. Anyone who's involved in the game of baseball, we want this game to continue to thrive, to continue to captivate the fans and the audiences, and to entertain. And I love the fact that Theo is involved. This is someone who is so accomplished in the game of baseball. He's only one of 5 executives who won a World Series with 2 different organizations. But the part of it that I love the best is that because he was a part of that analytics world, he is someone who's was a creator of some of the issues that we're dealing with now that makes the game not as exciting. So the fact that now he's on the flip side going, okay, how can I kind of undo what we did to make it that same exciting game that we all loved growing up?
Listen, I think this is an excellent hire. And I think when you think about where we are and the analytics, as you mentioned, and also a guy that is known as a true players kind of president, baseball operations, general manager, give him your title. He's been around a long time, an Ivy Leaguer, very intelligent, and was kind of forefront of a handful of other general managers, young gun kind of guys back in the day before he won the first world championship in many years for the Red Sox. And then here comes the Cubs. But I find this intriguing because it's a combination for the commissioner's office of not just having the ex-player guy, the ex-manager guy, or the longtime Hall of Fame, but you're having an analytics-driven guy that understands players. And if you remember when he stepped down with the Cubs a few months ago in that press conference, I was intrigued as heck at some of the comments that he made. Matter of fact, I'd like for us to throw to this sound and take a listen.
It is the greatest game in the world, but there are some threats to it because of the way the game is evolving. And I take some responsibility for that, right? Because the executives like me who have spent a lot of time using analytics and other measures to try to optimize individual and team performance have unwittingly had a negative impact on the aesthetic value of the game and the entertainment value of the game in some respects. I mean, clearly, the strikeout rate's a little bit out of control, and we need to find a way to get more action in the game, get the ball in play more often, allow players to show their athleticism some more, and give the fans more of what they want. And maybe there's a way to do that through changes over time, and to put the game back in the hands of the players.
I mean, there it is. That night when that took place, and I'm listening to these comments, for a guy that understood about how we can optimize player value, how do we, in-game strategy with shifting, and all of the other metrics that are involved, as we know, with analytics. And here's a guy now that's going to be working in baseball with the commissioner, advising, but understanding, how do we make the game more entertaining, while I get it, the metrics and trying to figure out every little minutia to get gain an edge on your opponent, this is refreshing for me.
Well, and I think what it shows, and again, I don't think you can overstate this, is that, you're serving two different masters. So when Theo came in and the analytics crew, and they were trying to basically find a way to be as efficient as they can to win baseball games and to go on and win championships. And that necessarily may not have correlated with the level of fan excitement. As he said, putting the ball in play, the strikeouts were up. And so they're just basically two different ideals. And again, I think any time that you're running a business, Dave, you come up with great ideas, and then there are some unintended consequences that may show up along the way. And I think any business that continues to grow has to deal with the unintended consequences that comes up. So now he's going to jump on the other side, and not to, shun the analytics or, put him in a corner, but find a way now with the analytics to see if we can deal with some of those unintended consequences to kind of bring a little bit more flair back into the game.
And that was his job as a GM. He was assigned to make it more efficient and to win. And that's what he did. And he figured that out. It kind of reminds me of what we're going through in society right now with social media. Right? The people who created a lot of the Twitter universe and the likes and all that, when you hear them talk now, they're like, you know what? We'd never thought about some of those unintended consequences.
Right.
And they're now they're starting to kind of roll back and go, how do we undo this? Right. Because they never thought of the impact going down the road. So I see a little bit of that in Theo going, okay, we figured it out, and we had these amazing ideas and new innovations, but maybe it wasn't so good for the game after all.
And again, anybody who's uber successful at anything, that's what they do. They work on the new unintended consequences that pop up. So I think it's a great job by Major League Baseball with Theo Epstein now being a part of the commissioner's office.